Should we start our class? Okay. The new topic for today is the include files. So include in PHP, most of the time actually we need to include many other files to the same file that we are trying to open. Okay, because sometime we have written already some files, and we don't want to rewrite those files again, so we just include it. And mostly in database programming, mostly the connection files, okay, are the path files. Okay, we just save the connection to a database. I will show you later on. Okay, so we don't want to rewrite again and again that coding, so we just want to include that file. Okay, so uh, for including the files, PHP has two functions. One is called require, one is called include. The difference between these two is that a require will produce an error if the file doesn't exist. Okay, but if the file exists, then that file will be included. On the other hand, the include function will include the file if the file exists. Okay, and if, let's suppose, the file doesn't exist, then it will just create a warning. Okay, let me show you an example. I have just tested. So I think, yeah, include, yeah, you see here I just created this file now, and it is a very simple file of just h1 uh, content content of the page, let's suppose. Okay, um, and then I just created one paragraph. It is nothing, just I put the random text, and now here I'm including another file which I have already created here, footer.php. Okay, footer.php, this one. Yeah, you see in this one is nothing, just like the copyright text, and the date function to just create a new file. Okay, a new year, sorry. Okay, so I want to include this file here. Include in this one. Okay, so include footer.php. So save it, include.php. Okay, so you see this is the content of the page. This is the paragraph that I just created. But here you see this text is actually coming from the other file, okay, that I just created. This one is coming from the other file. Okay, let me show you that file. That one is localhost. Okay, and that footer dot php is wrong. Footer, footer.php. Oh, my path is wrong. I should it should be web programming then slash this one, footer.php. So if you see here in this file, only this thing. So I don't want to rewrite this coding again and again. Okay, this coding again and again. Just include here. Okay, so using the include function and the file name, if the file is in the same directory. If the file is not in the same directory, then you will have to provide a full path. So not the point. Now I am changing the file name wrongly to make a mistake. Okay, so after that, let's see that it will give us it will give us and a warning messages. You see this warning that footer1.php is not exist, and this is warning. So it, you see, we are getting two warning. It means that these warnings will be there, but if there are some other coding after this line, You see, after this line, if we have, let's suppose here many other content of the page, that will display, and the loading of the file will be not stop. The script will work nicely. We will only get this warning. Okay, but if we use require instead of uh, include, so let's suppose in a case of correct path, then it will be okay. Go back, sorry, refresh it. Yeah, so require is also working. But if I make the path wrong for the require, then you just realize the difference between two. You see, previously we were getting only warning, but here we are getting one warning and one error message. This is the only difference between require and include. I hope it is clear. Okay, now another component in PHP, which is also quite famous, quite important aspect, that file handling. How to read file, how to write file, how to delete a file. All these component. So the one simple function, a read file, is used to open any file in your PHP. For example, here in this htdocs web programming, so here I have abc.txt, my file.txt. Okay, if I want to open to read this file, so it's quite easy. A read file, I have just created this one. You see, just one function. Okay, just use echo and read file my file.php. Okay, so when you run this coding, let me run this one. Read file.php. Okay, you see the text is already there. Okay, if you want to change abc.txt, okay, then it will change to that. Okay, this is just the random text that I put there. Okay, so one way to read file is like this. Another one, there is another function which is actually much more powerful than this one. For example, which that is fopen. Okay, the rest of the is the same template, no need to explain. So php block. Okay, and then we are creating a variable, and in this variable we are storing the connection to the file. Actually, you should note this 3 points when you are dealing with file. Number one, to open the file. Okay, any file, and this is common three operations in every programming language. Open the file, you will have to use some function to open the file, and you will provide the file name, and if the file is not in the current directory, then you will have to provide the full path. Okay, and then the connection will be stored in some variable. In this case, here the connection will be stored. Okay, so now the programming language, in this case php has a connection with the file system, and within the file system a specific file that we want to read. Okay, so second option is that once you have a connection, then second most common operation is maybe read from the file or write to the file. Okay, these two operations, reading or writing, okay, or updating. So whatever you want to do that one. And at the end, number third option, which is quite compulsory, and we should do it, we should close the file. So just thus 3 steps: open the file, use the file, okay, and then close the file. So in PHP, if you want to open a file, it's very easy. Just use f open. F stands for file. So file open, okay, and then provide the file name. Again, if the file is in the same directory where the PHP file is located, then just provide the file name. Okay, and after that, the second parameter shows that how the file should be open. It should be open for writing or for reading, okay, or for reading and writing both, or if the file. So there are many parameters I have already included in the slide, okay. So R for reading, W for writing, okay, a plus for reading and writing both, okay. So if the file can open, if the connection is established between the PHP and the file system, so okay, otherwise this message will be displayed. So you can type in this function any message that you want. Okay, so once we establish the connection between the file and the programming language, then after that you can read. Okay, so for reading, f read the file that we have already opened. So how much we should read? The second parameter is specifying this one. You want to read only one line, or you want to read a complete the whole file. So if you want to read the whole file, then the PHP function file size, and the file is given, okay, that the whole file size you read until you reach to this level. Okay, and whatever you read, we have used echo, so that will be displayed there. Okay, and after displaying that, just close this one. Okay, so this is another way, but this way is actually recommended, that when you are reading or writing a file, use f open, not the previous one. Okay, this one is the best one. So save this one, and let's check this read file 2, I think. Yeah, you see, it can display whatever is there. So this is actually this file, okay, the same content, okay, the same content is there. Hello guys, any confusion? Is okay? Hello. No problem, huh? Okay, if any confusion, any question, you can anytime stop me. So this is the way how to create how to open a file, and then read from the file, and then close the file. So when you are closing the file, note the point, you will not give the file name, you will just use the variable that we have already opened. This should not be the confusion. When you are reading, use the variable that we have created, and when you are closing, use the variable that we have created. Only for the opening of the file, you will give the file name and the full path. Okay, so this is another way to create to open a file. Okay, so in the same way, using PHP, we can create and write a file also. And luckily, the same function is used, the same OF open function is used to create or write a file also. Okay, it's like a bit maybe a bit confusing for someone, that the same file is opening a file also, and the same file the same if open function is used to create a file also. Yes, the reason is that if you are using the second parameter as a the second parameter R, so R stands for reading. Okay, if you use W stands for writing, so it means you are opening the file for writing mode. Okay, so if the file doesn't exist, okay, If the file doesn't exist, then the fopen function will first create it. Okay, and if the file exists, okay, then what we and if you are using the second parameter as a w, what php will do, php will erase all the content of that existing file first, and then will write the new content to that file, meaning to say whatever is previously stored will be erased first, and then new contents will be written to the file. But if you are using a as a second parameter, a stands for appending. It means it will not erase the existing content, but it will append at the end of the file. The new contents will be appended at the end of the file. Okay, so this is the way how to open. You see the same file that we were the same fopen function that we use for opening a file, you will give the file name for a writing purpose. So the point is that if this file already exists, it will be open for writing mode. Okay, if the file is not there, then the file will be created. Okay, and after that we just created a text, and then fwrite function. Fwrite function writes to the file that we open right now, and it will write the text here. You can type a text also. So I have created this file also. Write to a file. Yeah, this one. You see, PHP function. This is the same template. Okay. So PHP block. My file is a variable. So f open. Then I'm creating a file abc.txt, but I'm opening this file for reading and writing for both purposes. Okay, if you just change to w, then only for writing purpose. If you use only r, then only for reading purpose. But a plus stands for reading and writing both purposes. Okay, so once I get a connection, a link with the file, once the file is open, then I just created one random text. Okay, because this random text I want to write to that file. Okay, and after that fwrite to the file that I have opened now, and the text that I have created, this text will be written there. Okay, so after writing this one, you can close it. Okay, and if you want to open to see whatever you have written there, then you can uncomment this one and you can do it. So let's see, the file is there, abc.txt. Yeah, this one. Okay, let me delete this one. Sorry, let me delete this file. Okay, so no abc, yeah, no file existing there. So this file and this function file name is write file.php. So write file.php. Yeah, you see, no error, no warning. It means the code runs successfully because we are not displaying anything here. Okay, so this is why we didn't see anything. So let's check that the file is created. You see, this file is created, and the text that we have created here, this is this text. That one is written to them. Okay. If you want something else, maybe something else. That's it. Okay. And if we run again, refresh it. And now let's see. Yeah, you see, I refresh 2 times. So new line, something else and something else. So why? Because you see the way that I have opened, it is for appending. It's not for erasing. If I just use W, you see, let's suppose you use W, what will happen? The contents of the file will be deleted first. Everything here will be deleted first, okay, and a new thing will be written to it. So new thing, let me just type new text, okay. So this will be written to that. Refresh it, okay. Now check the file. You see, just new text. The existing text was deleted first. This is why. This is because of this W. And if you use a plus, then it will append, okay, and it will not delete. Now, one thing, if you want to see whatever you have written in the same in the same program, just uncomment this one. So you see, I am opening the file for reading purpose again, the same file name, and then I am displaying the text. So save it and refresh. You see, new text, because I refreshed two times, so this was written to them. Yeah. I hope it is clear. Any confusion to anyone? Hello guys. Any confusion? Okay. Okay, good. Okay, that's great. So we can create file, we can read file, and after reading and writing to the file, then we will close the file. Don't forget to close the file, because actually it uses resources, it uses RAM, it uses processor. So if many files are open at the same time, and maybe sometime the websites are on for quite a long time, okay, so it uses a lot of resources of the server. So don't forget to close it. Okay, next is another important aspect of PHP, file uploading. Most of the time we are uploading files, or we are forcing, or we want the user should upload file. For example, there are many cases that the user upload, let's suppose their CVs, okay. So how to upload file to website? It is very easy, but first of all, you should make sure that in php.ini, this is a setting configuration file in PHP. Make sure that in php.ini, the file upload is equal to on. So let's search, where is it? You will go to your XAMPP, okay, and inside XAMPP you will go to PHP, and inside PHP you will look, search for php.ini. You see this one. So this is php.ini. These are all the configurations, okay. All the configurations are here, okay. So and note the point that don't change anything in this file, okay. If mistakenly you change something, your server will not work, okay. So be very careful when you are changing in this file. So I am searching the file upload, okay. File upload, search it. So if you see here, okay, if you see here, this file upload equal to on. Note the point, in a php.ini file, if there is a semicolon in front of any line, it means it is a comment, okay. So when there is no semicolon, that is not comment, and the system is considering. So if you want to don't allow file uploading, just put semicolon here, okay. So it will come off, or maybe you can use like this, in place of on, use up, okay, then the file upload will be up. So if file uploads are up, then nobody can upload files. Okay, so file uploads are on. Okay, make sure this one first. After that, when file uploads are on, then we can upload file. Okay, so I have already created file upload. It's a very simple function, a simple page, HTML page. Okay, note the point. You see form action equal to, I hope that you still remember that every form we want the data in this form to send to some other file, and the other file will process the data. Okay, so which file the data should be sent, we specify in the action upload.php. And note the point that these two are compulsory conditions for file uploading. When you are uploading a file, the method must be post. Okay, you know that when we are using the get method, the data is sent in the URL. Okay, but note the point that in URL we cannot send files. Okay, so when we are sending file, the file, the method, the posting method must be post, and this condition, the encryption type must be multipart / form data. Okay, after that is a simple one text, one field where is, you see, the type is file. So when you change the type equal to file, it will give you the option to select a file. You can give to the file, to this field, any name. So any name that you give here, later on you will use the same variable. Don't forget, you see, I will use this variable again to process the file. Okay, you can give id if you want. Okay, so you can later on use through name or through id, but mostly in PHP we are using through name, and in JavaScript mostly we are using through id. The last one is simply a submit button. Okay, submit button. So this one, you see, let me show you how this file will look like. So file upload, file upload.php. Okay, so it's a very simple. Select an image to upload. So you see, this is the input type equal to file. When you change the type equal to file, it will be like this. So when you click, it give you the option to select something, and then this is the button. Okay, this is this button. You see, input type equal to submit, value equal to upload image. So the value is equal to upload image is there, and its type equal to submit. So if I select any image, let's suppose this one, okay, this one, and then upload image. So you see another file automatic, not the URL. You see, this one is file upload.php, but when I click this button, it will send the data to another file which I have mentioned here, upload.php. Okay, so if I click this one, this URL will automatically change to upload.php, because the data will be sent to that file and that file will be automatically loaded. Okay, you see, upload.php. So what I have done in upload.php, let me show you that one. So this one is upload.php. I am just checking at the beginning. You see, this is the same template, no need to explain. PHP block, if is set. This is PHP function that you can check, that is set in the global array, the $_post, there is a submit value or not, meaning to say the user have clicked the submit button or not. If the user has already submitted, click the button, then this array will must have a value with the name submit, because the type is submit. You see this submit, and sorry, and the name is also submit, so both you can use that. You see the name, so the name is submit, so this value must be in this global array. So you can anytime check that is set in $underscore post the value that you are looking for, and it will be the name of the form field. It may be the name of the button, it may be the name of any other field. You can check any other field. Okay, then here this one I am just checking that the file is uploaded or not. If this one is confusing you, this is you see, just maybe at the beginning you just command this if this one is confusing you. But I think I have used again, so okay, no problem. This one is just checking that get the image size, and you see this is the another global array files. So these global array only store the files in the system, that anyone if upload a file, it will, you see, the submit name goes to $post array, but the file goes to $underscore files. So these are two different global arrays. One is specialized to store the files, and the other one is specialized to store the form data when the method is post. Okay, so the $underscore files is a global array. It store all the files that we have uploaded. If you check, you see I have given the name here, file to upload. So that file to upload will be in this global array. Okay, and this one is actually a temporary name that this array automatically give to this file. Okay, this one is our given name, but this one is the system temporary given name. Why? Because the system automatically upload the file to a temporary folder. Okay, so the folder is temporary, the file name is temporary, everything is temporary when the system is storing the file in the temporary folder. So I'm just checking that if this variable is true, is not equal to false, means the file exists and the file has been uploaded. So if it is uploaded, I want to see the detail of the file. Okay, echo pre echo this one is HTML command. Okay, HTML tag, and it just displays something like in a coding format. Okay, just the style of displaying. So what I want to display, print r, this is PHP function which display all the contents of an array, and you know that $files is a global array which store all the files, and this file we are giving the name that this array may have many files, but we are looking only for this file that we have uploaded. So this 3 lines will display the details of the file. Let me comment the rest. Okay, save it. Okay, so then you see this will only display the details of the recently uploaded file. Okay, so let's go back to this, go back. Yeah, so this is the file. You can upload any file, let's suppose this one. Okay, so upload the file. You see the lines, the temporary name of the file is this one, the type is image, this is the temp location. You see CSAM temp, you see in the temp folder it will be there. Okay, and even there is no error, means successfully the file is uploaded and the file size is that much. So using these information, actually we can read, we can store the file permanently, because it is now temporarily, so we can store permanently. So how to store permanently? In the folder that you want, wherever you want, we can actually store. So how to store? You see, I am just using a variable to store the file name, and that file name is what? Dollar sign files, the file name and the name. So if it is actually nothing, it is this thing. You see? Okay. Second one, the file location I want to access, to store. So the file location is where? Dollar sign file, the file upload, and the temp name. So this is nothing. You see, it's the path of the file. So I store the name of the file and the path of the file. So only these two information if you have, then you can deal with the file. Okay. So now I want to store a path to my own folder that I have created. You see here, in XAMPP, you see XAMPP htdocs web programming. Here I just created one file. Let me delete this now. Okay, so here I just created one folder that any uploaded images I will store here. Okay, so I am creating a variable to store the path of this folder. Okay, so the path of this folder will be what? Uploads slash the file. Okay, the file name. So it will be a complete path. Now I am moving, this is a PHP function which is move uploaded file. So the uploaded files that we have just recently uploaded, and it is where? It is actually at the temp location. You see, at the temporary location it is currently there. So from the temp location I want to move to my own location, and my own location I fixed to this path. Okay, so when this coding run, it will move the image from the temporary folder to the folder that I want to store. Okay, so let's save this coding and now check again. Go back. Let's suppose select the same image, upload the image. So these are the information that we stored. Now let's check the folder. You see, the image is there. Let's delete it. Okay, run once again. Upload an image, any other image. Let's suppose this one. Okay, upload an image. You see, all the information is here. And if I go to my folder uploads, you see that image is there. So this is the way how to upload a file and how to read from a temporary folder and store in a proper way. Okay, later on we will use the same concept when we reach to databases. You see, in databases the technique is that we are not storing images in a databases. Okay, we are storing the path. You see, in database later on we will just store the path of the file. Okay, and later on we want to display, you see, the same image from here, actually you can display later on. You see, for example, how to display image src equal to, okay, so if I copy the path, Yeah, I can copy the path like this also. Then slash, what's the name of the file? Like this. Okay, and just close. Let's see it's working or not. Okay, go back, choose any file. Let's suppose this one. Oh, now I think I should use the same one because I give the in the SRC this one. Upload the file. Oh, we couldn't display. Why? I think in a web it's working like this. Okay, we should quickly check. I already forgot the image SRC. Yeah. Okay, let's do this one. This one should be uh, this file. Okay, and this should be in uploads. I think it should be like this only. You can do this one better than me. Okay, if I couldn't do this, source this. Hopefully now is working. Otherwise, you will do by yourself. Okay, this one. Now go back. Choose a file. Let's suppose this one. Upload. Yeah, you see. Then later on you can display the same file that you want. Uh, I hope it is clear. Maybe the difficult path for the difficult task for you that you have not practiced $post, and maybe you are a bit confusing with the file system or the global array with the files. Okay, so if you play with this, it's nothing, just to check the $post array and read from the $files array. Okay, and when you use the print r $files and the file name, okay, you will get all the details. You see, all these details you will get. So once you get these details, later on you can read, you can store these information. Okay, like you can store the file name, you can store the file location, and you can store any location that you want to store. Okay, and after that simply move the file to that location. Hello guys, any confusion, any question until this point? Hello. Is clear? Wow, it is clear. Oh my god, some student cannot log in. Wake up. So when if we store the images to a database, is actually it increase the size of the database too much. So the technique is that we are not storing the images directly to our databases. We will only store the path of the images, and the images will be physically stored to the file system of the computer and to any folder that we want. And this is the way how to store and how to read back. Uh, I hope it is clear. So next one, file upload, we already. Okay, next up is cookies. What is a cookie? Actually, cookie is a small file. a very tiny file. It is in KB. Sorry. And I hope all of you have this experience, that whenever you open a website, the website will first tell you to accept the cookies. Let me see quickly. Most of the time the Turnitin will give you actually this option. Let me see. Let's suppose Asia. Now you see, this website uses cookies. Okay. So most of the time, every websites are using cookies. So what is cookies and how to create it and what is the purpose of cookies? So it's a very small file in KB, and the most important aspect, that actually we want to store the user information in that cookie. Okay, that why we want to store the user information, that actually the system want to collect information, that who is accessing the system and from where. Okay, so these informations are stored in a cookie. In a PHP, it is very easy to create a cookie. The PHP function set cookies is a PHP function, and after that you can give a name to the cookie, whatever cookie you want to create, and what value you want to store here. You can store one value, you can store later on several values also if you want. So the next parameter, when this cookie should expire. So you will give a date, or in a millisecond, or okay. So it may be for 1 day, it may be for 1 month. Okay. So it's actually a temporary file, most of the time temporary file, and when the expiration time reaches, it deletes automatically. Okay, and where you want to store, mostly the website store on the client computer. So in this case, you see, when I'm accessing the Turnitin system, okay, the Turnitin system are storing one cookie in my computer. Okay, so next time when I access the Turnitin system again, then the Turnitin website will first access my cookie. Okay, if the cookie is there, then it will read quickly my information. Okay, so, and then the domain where it should be secure or not. So these so many parameters are mostly option. The first one is the compulsory one, that if you want to create a cookie, every cookie must have a name. Because if you remember, there is a global array in the server, and the global array, like a $post, okay, $get, $files. So cookie is also a global array, and this global array stores all the cookie names that different website has created on your computer. Okay, so later on when you want to refer to a specific cookie, then you will have to use a specific name. You cannot go in general way. So the name is compulsory, and you can access the content of the cookie through name. Okay, how to do it? You see, if you want to create a cookie, it's so easy. You create the name of the cookie, like cookie name. You can give a name user. Okay, you can give any name. Okay, this is not, it's based on you, whatever name you want to give, and whatever value you want to store in the cookie. You see this one, mostly when the user log in, the user actually enter the username there. So we grab the username from there and store in the cookie, so we know what is the username. Okay, and then we store in the cookie. Okay, this one is just example. Okay, then you see, use the set cookie function, and the cookie name, this one, the user, and the username is this one, and you see time, this is the expiration date, when this cookie should expire. So you see the time function, and after that you give this parameter, this is equal to 1 day time 30, so it's 1 month. So this cookie will be for 1 month in the system. Okay, now if you want to access the cookie, this one is to create a cookie. Okay, if you want to access the cookie, then first of all in PHP you check if is set. The is set is very useful function. You can check is set $post $get $file. Okay, you see $cookie. This is a global array. Okay, and then the cookie name, you see it will look for the same name that we have created. So if this cookie has been created on your file, okay, but I have used the not set. If it is not set, meaning to say the cookie is not created, then display this message. Else, display this message that the cookie has been created and its value, you see $cookie and the cookie name. Okay, the cookie name you will see. If you want to see the cookie value, what is stored inside the cookie, then instead of cookie name, use cookie value. Okay, then it will display the cookie value for you. Should I write a file for this, or is it okay? Have I already created or not? Cookies. Uh, let me quickly create cookie.php. Okay, so HTML, this one is the template cookie, and here we will create a PHP block. Okay, PHP block. Inside this PHP block, you can create a cookies. So, but before creating a cookie, we need a value, a name for the cookie and value for the cookie. These two things are quite important, and the expiration date also if you want. For example, if I want a dollar sign uh, cookie name, cookie name is what? Let's suppose user, okay? And then a dollar sign cookie value is equal to what? Let's suppose my name. Okay, after that you simply use set cookies, set cookie, and inside this function you provide the two variable, the two parameters, cookie name and cookie value. Okay, and you can provide the time also. So I will copy the time from here, time plus this. Okay, so this one is the cookie. Yeah, that's all. Save it. Actually, when you copy from time, is a function plus, just copy, type the same thing once again, because when you copy from PowerPoint, then this editor has some problem with that. 400, I think it should be only for 1 day and not for 1 month. So this is expiration date, and let's suppose only this. Is it working? Yeah. Okay, so this will create a cookie. There is a way to see the cookie file physically. Where is it? Uh, I think we should Google it. Then let's run the file cookie.php. The requested URL was not found. Okay, maybe my file name is wrong. Oh, I sorry, I have used 3o cookie. Yeah. So you see the file has been created. So if you want to read back, you can use this one. That if is a set cookie, maybe we can check here again uh, in another PHP block. Okay, here we can check if is a set. We will use is set. Uh, is a set $sign underscore cookie, and in this array we will use the brackets. This is array, and in the array we will use the cookie name. So our cookie name is this one. Okay, so if it is a variable name, then don't use this, as we are using a variable name. I hope it will work. Okay, if this cookies has been set, okay, then display the cookie content, echo display the cookie name, echo the cookie is not created. Save it and refresh. Yeah, so the content of the cookie is this one. Let's change any user. You see, I'm not changing the name, I'm changing the value. Okay, so any user, save it, refresh it. Yeah, any user. So to display the content of the cookie, just use echo cookie and the cookie name. The last point, that if we want to delete the cookie, what is the point? It's a very tricky point only. Just use the same set cookie and use the name of the cookie. Don't use the value. Okay, and use the time for past, meaning to say use such a time which is already has been passed, meaning to say the past time or the date which is already been passed, so the cookie will be automatically deleted. So if you want to delete a cookie, you see, just change the time to minus. You see, this will be the current time, and after that minus some amount from the current time. So if you minus something from the current time, it means it is already passed. So when the expiration date is passed, then the cookie will be deleted automatically. So for example, if after that, if I create another PHP block, okay, PHP block, okay, and here if I just say set cookies, sorry, set cookie, and the cookie name should be the same that we have been used, at this cookie, okay, and its time is the current time, and after that we should minus some value, okay. You should minus, because these are millisecond, so millisecond 1000, 2003, at least 5 seconds before, okay, then that it should be a pastime. Is session. Session is also a very important aspect of the user of website, and mostly we are keep trying to observe, keep an eye on the users, okay. So this is the way that we create a session. Session is actually on the internet. We want to monitor the users, okay, and for that purpose we create a sessions for that, and in that particular session we can track the user, what that particular user is doing, okay. I hope that you have already observed that when you log into, especially to any banking website, okay, and you don't use the website, meaning to say you are not active for few minutes, then you will get a message that your session is going to expire, meaning to say the system is keep observing you, that what you are doing. If you are not doing anything, then the system will log you out automatically. So on the basis of the session, you can log out the user, you can log in the user, okay, and you can observe the user, what the user is doing. So session is very important aspect in PHP, and how to do it? It is very easy. Simply just use session start function. Okay, no parameters. Just use session start. Then the session started for that particular user, but this session will be quite general, okay. So when we start the session, then there is a global array again, $_session, okay, that will be created, and that will store random information about that session. But if you want to store particular information in that session, that just use like an array, $session, and then in the session, you see, you can create in that array, you can create a variable, okay, and you can assign value to that variable. For example, $session user, okay, for example, if you are creating a user and you are assigning to that user any name, okay, so session will be created, and the session name will be user, and the value will be this one. So later on, at any stage, you can actually read the session value from the session array, and you can check, okay, the username, and you can even store the user information to a databases. Most of the time the system is creating log file, so they create a session, they put in the session the user information, your information there, and they are creating log, okay, and the log file is nothing, it's just like a history, that who logged in and who did what at what time. So for example, if you are searching a database, so in the session variable, the log file will be created, and from the session your information will be extracted, plus the activity that you have done, that will be written to the log file. So most of the system, for example in Unima system, if you go to CITDS, you can actually find a log file about every individual, what every individual is doing. There is a log file on the server, so that is based on the session. So create a session, you can give a name to the session, and you can give value to the session, and actually in this session you can store as many values as you want. So this is the easy way how to create a session and how to put value in that session. And when you want to delete a session, you can just use session onset, our session destroy, then the session will be deleted for that guy, for the current user. It is quite easy, and maybe later on we will use also when we go to a database section. Okay, so that's for the first part. Okay, if any question about this, you can ask. So when you are using MySQL in PHP, so MySQL is a database management system, and not the point. Nowadays is not MySQL anymore, is MySQLi. Okay, you can check this. You can see maybe, yeah, what's the difference? One is called MySQL, one is called MySQLi. We will cover MySQLi, not MySQL. Okay, MySQL. One is MySQL are like this, and one is MySQLi. At the end is used I. I stands for improved. Okay, improved. Meaning to say that the MySQL is not used anymore. Very soon, the MySQL will stop working and MySQLi will be used. So nowadays, all the people are using MySQLi, okay, not MySQL simple. Okay, so this is one thing that you should note. Okay, so when we install this XAMPP package, we get the MySQLi and Apache, all this by default. So if you want to go to the MySQLi section, then you will click PHP My Admin. PHP My Admin is a user interface to MySQLi. Okay, so this is MySQLi. This is a database management system. So you see, when you click this one, you will have a list of databases. If you have already created, if you have not created, then it will be just the schema and the new one. So meaning to say, you will have just the default databases. So if you see, it's a complete database system. It handle databases, SQL language, status, user accounts, exports, imports, all these things. And I hope you have already studied this in your previous class in second year. Okay, in a database management system. Okay, so this is MySQLi user interface. The user interface is called PHP Not the point, don't confuse with this. PHP is just a user interface to MySQLi. So at the back end is MySQLi and all the functionality of MySQLi. Okay, now this this is the way how to create a new database. So when you click the databases section, you will have the list of databases. Okay, if you want to create a new one, just click new, or maybe when you click the databases, just type a database name here, whatever you want to type. Okay, so just click a database name and click create. So you will get a new database. And you should note that database is what? Database is a collection of tables. Inside database, we can create many tables, queries, views, and so many things, diagrams. But all those things I'm not going in that detail. You have already studied in a previous class. So let's suppose we are using this test database. Okay, this one I just newly created test database. Oh, I think before that I should give you an overview of user. Okay, so you see, the database management system is not only maintaining databases, but it maintain a list of users also, how many user you want, and even what type of user you want. It may be admin user, it will have a full privileges, or maybe only such user which can only read from the database, which cannot change anything. Okay, so how to do that? When you click this server tab, okay, then you will get these menus. So if you under this, then when you click the user account, then you will have the list of the user that in this system currently exist. So if you go through your own one, hopefully you will have just the any, the PMA, the root, okay? The root are few there. And I created one for myself, okay? So how to create, okay? Okay, how to see? This one, let's suppose a root is the username, and this one 127.0.0.1, this is exactly like a local host. So local host and this IP, it mean same thing. So this one, you see, password is no, okay, and the privileges, you see, all privileges means that this user can read, can write, can delete, can insert data, whatever the user want can do. It is means it is a super admin. You see, all the privileges are given here. If you want to edit the privileges, you can click here and you can stop this user using from data. This can do select inside. These are the queries that this user can do. This user can do structural changes. You see, it can create a new table, it can edit, alter existing, it can create indexes and drop indexes. All these are the privileges. You see, administrative, it can grant privileges to other user. It is a super user. It can process, reload, all these things. You see, even shut down. Okay, so if you want to reduce privileges from someone, just uncheck. Okay, I will not change this one. Go back. Now if you want to create a new user, just click this one. You see, click this one, and here give a name, for example, test user. Okay, test user, and this user will be where? This should be for local host. When you select the local, it will automatically come here local host. If you want to set a password for this, type. If you don't want, just leave it blank. Okay, so let's suppose if we type a password for this 1234. Okay, and after that, you see, these are the privileges what you want to give to this user. Okay, all these privileges, if you want, you see here you can actually manage the user that you want to create a admin user or just simple user. Okay, so here you can check, but just for simplicity, let me check all. So it means I'm creating a super admin user. Okay, click go. A data branch and site exposed to your password. Chrome recommended checking you. Yeah, I think my password is quite simple or something. I don't know. This is some Chrome message, not related to MySQL. So you see here the user has been created, okay, and it has all the privileges. So the beauty of PHP MyAdmin, that it provides you user interface operation also, and whatever you do through user interface, it will create a MySQL query for that. So you see, if you want to create a create a user, MySQL query for that is this one. The PHP MyAdmin already created for us. Okay, now if you go to database, let's suppose, and no, if you want to see the users, let's suppose. So you see here a test user is there. It is on a local host. It has a password and it has all privileges. So this is the way how to create a user. Now, how to create a database? Click the database tab and you can give any name here. Just click create. That's all. Okay, so I have already created one database with the name test. Now you can create a table. So what table you want to create? Let's suppose I want to create a table with the name student. Okay, so how many columns you want? Okay, just column. So it should be metric number, name, program, year. Let's suppose like this for columns. Okay, so you see 4 columns are created, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 columns, and the rest are the properties of the columns. For example, here if I type metric number MNO to be simple, it should be integer, its length should be how much, 5. Okay, it should not have any default value. Okay, meaning to say the metric number must be entered by the user, it will not have any default value. Collation attributes, you can leave it, it cannot be null. Okay, you can click, select here primary, it means that this field is now a primary field. Okay, so this become a primary key now, it cannot be null. Okay, and don't select the auto increment and blah blah. I'm not going in this much detail, you have already studied this one. So metric number, after that name. Okay, the name will be a text, so you can select text is actually for long text, so varchar is quite good, and you can select maybe 50 characters. Okay, should not be a default value, and cannot be null. Okay, like this, enough. Second one is a program, that the student is from which program, it should also be this, and maybe 50 or 100, it's up to you. Okay, program, and year, which year student is it, so you can put this one integer also. First year, second year, I think it should be text, and should be 50. Okay, so you see the 4 columns, I define its properties. What should be its name, what should be data type, how much it should be its length, which one will be the primary key, which one will be not the primary. So then once you complete all these things, then click save. Use keyboard is not string, the used length is longer than the keyboard. Something let's check. Yeah, now is okay. Previously what I did, when I selected the primary key, okay, it give me some message, and I enter a value, so that the primary key value and the field length, that was different, so I simply change it. Okay, so now you see here the key is showing here. It means that it is a primary key. So metric number, name, program, and year. So this is the table that we want to recreate it. If you want to insert values, you can just click here and you can insert value. For example, 1 2 3 4 5, and let's suppose the name is the student name is me, program is sk. Okay, I'm typing like this, and let's suppose a third year. Okay, third year. So you can, if you want to enter several values at a time, then you can type another one also. Okay, let's type another one. Now 531 like this, and the student name is who, anyone, my previous student. Program sk, and here should be third year, let's suppose. Okay, so if you insert two values, means 2 rows, then you will have to click the down go. If you want to insert 1 row, then you will click the above go. So when you click the down go, both rows will be inserted. So you see, in 2 rows inserted, and not only inserted, the user interface created for you the query. So you see, later on when we are using a PHP coding, okay, you can actually use this type of query, so you can copy from here if you want. Even this one will create where is it, somewhere I have seen, you see here, if you click create a PHP code, even it will create a PHP code for you. You see, MySQLi blah 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 blah, this, you see, how to insert the values. Okay, so this is the way how to do it. Okay, now if you browse it, you will see the values there. You see metric number, my name, this, yeah. So these values are there. Now we have a database, we have a user. Now how to connect PHP with this database whose name is test, and inside the test database is a table, a student. Okay, so how to connect to this variable? To connect to this variable, we need some connection information, and the most common informations are the host, the server, and the database name, and the username, and if the user is using password. So four things we need to provide. Okay, so I have already created the file. So you see this one is our XAMPP htdocs web programming, and here I created one file here include. Okay, and here I created my SQLi connect. So what is inside this coding is this one, MySQLi connect. So you see in this file I started a PHP block, and I created one variable. You can give any name. I just give $db and new MySQLi. You see we are not using MySQL, we are using MySQLi. Maybe in the lab the student has taught you something different, but don't confuse. Okay, if they are also right, they are also correct if they are using MySQL, but the MySQL will be soon deprecated. It will not work anymore. So MySQLi is a constructor function. Okay, it needs the server name. You see the local host, and after that the database the username. Okay, the username, and then the user password. So in case of root don't have any password. This is why I didn't give. So in the first constructor you will provide these three information: the server name, meaning to say the database is where in this computer. If it is the same computer that you are using, then is localhost. If not this computer, if it is online, then actually when you host your website somewhere and database, that online system will provide you a host name and a full path. Then you will put that one here. Okay, the username, this one, and the password. If you want, to use not this root, you can change. For example, my name, I have already created. You cannot change if you don't have a user in your MySQL. Okay, first you will have to create. So I already have, as I show you here, that I already have with my name. You see my name, localhost. I have a password also. So if the password is yes, then you will must provide the password. Okay, so my password is just 1234. Okay, then save the changes. So one step, provide these three informations: localhost, user, and user password. Second one, you see MySQLi select DB. MySQLi select DB is a function of MySQLi, and it select database. Now you connect it to the server, but in this server there are many databases here. To which database you want to connect? Okay, you will select a DB database. So the connection is this one that I created here. Okay, and I want to use the test database. Okay, so just these four information, you see, the server, the user password, and the database. So in many files we will need this connection again and again. So this is why I save this one in a separate file Okay, that separate file is here. You see web programming and include folder, and inside include this MySQLi connect.php. So I store here. Now, if I want to use this connection in any other file, I will just include this file. For example, here, if I want to check it, that is this connection is working or not. So you see PHP block, okay, PHP block. In this PHP block, I am doing nothing, just to check. Don't confuse with the try and catch block. I hope you already know this is error handling technique in every programming languages, that any code which may create errors, you put in a try block. For example, here I am using the require once function of PHP. Why I'm not using include, because I want to strictly apply this rule that if this file doesn't exist or if there is any problem, then I should the rest of the page should not display, because this is too much important. The whole page depends on this connection first. So I want to make sure that the connection is there. And require once. What's the difference between these? Require means that if you use require, and if the file is already required, and sorry, if the file is already included and you use require again, it will re-include again. But if you use require once, that if the file is already included, it will not re-include. So only one time the file will be included. So which file? Which is inside include folder, and the name is this one. It is this file. Okay, inside include folder, and the name is this one. Okay, in the case, if this create any error, that error will be stored in this variable, and later on from this error object we can get the message, what message is generated, and we are storing in this error variable. Okay, this error variable we can check later on anytime before executing any database queries. Okay, so this is just a simple HTML. Okay, all these things I am just using one CSS, also simple CSS. Okay, that is this one. Okay, like styles. Okay, and in style this is this one. So don't worry about this. Okay, if you don't want, you cannot use. After that, in the body h1 connecting with MySQLi, this one. Now I am checking again using PHP that if is set the error, meaning to say if this error has been set, it means something is wrong here. Okay, the connection is not successful. So if is set the error, okay, then display the error, whatever error has been generated. Okay, otherwise you display the connection is successful. Hello guys, any confusion, any question, please let me know. So if I go further and if you don't know something here, then will be a big confusion for you. So I am still here. If anything about database, about PHP my admin, any this thing I can repeat. Hello guys. Hello. Are you there? Okay, so any confusion? Everything is okay. You are a great student, really. Okay, so this is the way how to create a connection and how to link with the database. So now I am trying, you see this file I have already stored in my this folder. You see in MySQL test. Okay, so I want to check it. I want to check it. Yeah, it is already here. So if I refresh, okay, if I refresh, yeah, you see, connecting with MySQLi, connection successful. Okay, if anything wrong, for example, let me make mistake in the path, include 2. I just type 2 here. Okay, and if I refresh again, you see, it will tell me that this file doesn't exist, no such file. Okay, with this name. What's the path? You see, this path, this file doesn't exist. Okay, and no display. You see, the rest of the page is not executing. We are getting error message because of the required ones. If you use include, okay, then you will get warning and the rest will also display, but in this case we don't want. Okay, so this one, make it correct. So connection is successful, meaning to say we successfully connected to a database. Now, next step, to read from a database, okay, and display here, okay, I created another file just to save time. Okay, the same coding, you see, the same coding, PHP catch and try block, and the same include path you will find here, the same include path. The rest is what I just created a query. I hope you already know what is query, okay, and you have studied this one. Most of the famous queries are select, update, delete, okay, and insert. So select metric number in our database. You see this one student. So select metric number, then name, then program, then year. Okay, I will write this coding: metric number, name, then program, okay, then comma, then year, from what? From student. This is a student, okay, where I think I don't want to use where, because in our case it is quite less data. Student and just order by name. Okay, so this is a query. I created the query and store that query in this variable. Hello guys, okay, no problem, no issue. I hope no issue. Okay, after that, you see another variable $result, and now this is the $db and $db, and this sorry, this is the member access operator, because it is object oriented style. Okay, this is a database object now, and this is the member function of this object. Can any one of you tell me where we created this object? Where we created? Hello? Hello, if everything was okay last time you told me, then you should give me an answer. Hello? Any smart guy? Any smart girl? Hello? Are you there? So you, Safia, Omera Safia. So where we created this object, the database object? No idea?
In the MySQLi Connect PHP.
Sorry?
In the connect.php.
Yeah, exactly. Very good. We have included this file, okay? And if you go to this file, you see this object we have created already, and this object know all the information about the server, about the user, about the user password and the database. Everything are stored in this one. So we already connected, included this file here. So now we can use this object. So this is the member function of this object. Okay, so it has only one argument. Just pass the query that you want. If it is a select query, if it is update query, it is a delete query, just pass to it. So if this query runs successfully, okay, then this variable will have a true result. Okay, if this query got any problem, this variable will have a false result. Okay, and if anything wrong here, again this error object will be created, and you see everything is object oriented style, and we are getting the error message storing in this variable accessing the message function. Now here we connected to the database using this connection file. We created a query, we run the query from a database, okay, from the student table, and now the time is to display the data. Okay, this is simply HTML. Now just any message that you want. So before displaying the data, let's check that if there is any error, okay, then display echo the error. Otherwise, you see how many rows. I am just creating another variable and checking, you see, a result num rows. This result will uh, show that how many rows are selected from the table. How many rows are there? Sorry, last time I think I told you that when this query run, then it will show true and false. No, that is in the case of insert. In case of select, when this query run, actually all the data will come and store in this variable, and this variable will be an associative array, and it will be a two-dimensional array, this variable, in case of the select query. Note the point, in case of select query. If the query is insert or update, then it will have a boolean value. Okay. So here we can get that how many rows are read from the data table. So that number of rows we are storing here. So if no number of rows we are again checking, then no result found. Else then you just display how many rows you have read from the table. And after that you can just create a table. So in this row I will create a table heading. So this one should be the metric number. The other one is name. The third one is program. Okay. The last one is year. Okay. After that, here we need to display the data. Okay, we need to display the data. So how we can display the data? We can actually display the data using a while loop also. Okay, but just to simply show you just one value, so here I will start a PHP block. Because why I'm starting a PHP block? Because the data is actually in PHP. Okay, so note the point, this is a PHP block, and where I started here, when the query run, actually this query gets the data in the form of two-dimensional table. Okay, like this. Okay, it's like exactly like a table. It gets the data like this. It's get the data in two-dimensional way. So the whole table is placed in this variable. Okay, in this variable when the query runs. Now from this variable we need to get values row by row. One row, then second row. You see, we will get one row, then we will display in our HTML page. Then second row, then we will display in a HTML page. Then third row, then we will display in a HTML page. So we will go row by row and extract the data from this variable and then display in HTML page. So how to do that? For that purpose, it's a loop repetition process. So we will use a loop. Okay, a PHP block while $row, this is a variable, equal to $result fetch row. Fetch row is PHP function which gets one row from the complete result. Okay, and that one row is assigned to this variable. Okay, now we need to display the values from this variable. Okay, so this one should be one. Okay, uncomment first value. You know that the array is started from index is 0, so 0 1 2 and one more should be the fourth one is the program is third, and after that, yeah, the this closing block is this one. Yeah, if it is this one, then I think we need two closing curly brackets. This curly bracket is for this, and this curly bracket is for this. Yeah, and once the data display, then close the database. Okay, so I'm quickly refreshing the whole concept once again. We connect to a database. Connection means server, user, user password, and database. Four things: server, user password, and database. So we have already done this in the MySQLi connect file. Then we created a query, we run the query, and if the query successfully run, it will extract all the data in the form of table, and it will be in this variable. Okay, now to just to check that how many rows are there, you can use $sign. This is a property. You see, property of this variable. This is actually object now, because the whole concept is object oriented style. So this num row is a property of this object, and you see the same result. You see here is no parenthesis and the same variable, but here is a function. You see, this is a member function. So its object, it has properties also, it has functions also. So just to show that how many rows we get, and then create a table. The first is just the heading, and after that start a loop and read each row from the table. Okay, and then display that value. So here we have 1 2 3 4, here 1 2 3 4. I think should be okay. Let's save this one and now check. Oh, some problem. Oh, yeah, the problem. One row is okay. And after that, we need to create another row. Yeah, the coding, you see, the coding is a problem. Then, oh my God, there are two different ways to do. Okay, but I will do very manual for this time. So second row, and here, no, let's check what's the problem. While this one, then start a row, and in this row td, this one, closing this. Okay. Oh, the problem is not this one. The problem is, no, it's okay. This PHP block close here, another PHP block here, T, so loop, a new row, this column, close it. And next row, oh, this bracket should not be here. This bracket should be here, but if I want to use here, then I need to create a PHP block because bracket. Okay, so just to use the curly bracket here, then closing this PHP block. Yeah. I think, yeah, should be like this. Now let's check. Yeah, you see now is okay. So my problem was that I put this curly bracket, which is part of the loop, and after closing the bracket, after closing the table. So once the loop run one time, it closes the table already. Okay, so this is why the placement of the curly bracket was wrong. Okay, so I hope you understood how to connect to a database, how to read values from a database, and then next stage will be how to update values inside a database, how to insert value inside a database. I think some of you will be confusing, some of you will be new, and maybe the lab demo taught you in different way and I taught you in different way. So you need a time to digest. So the rest of the operations, that how to insert data in a database, how to update data inside a table, and how to delete data inside a table, we will do in our next class. What do you think? Hello guys. Our time is also, I think,